Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new episode of Final Fantasy 1 with me, Drew Gamer. This is the last episode of the story. It's not the last episode of the series, but this is going to be the episode with the final boss in it. And we're going to get a lot of very interesting story points thrown at us. So I'm going to ask the question of the day. What do you think of the story twist? Because we're going to get quite a few. The first we're going to get right now. We talked to all these prophets and sages, and they will start telling us about what has actually been going on. And basically, we're stuck in a time loop where, because of an event that happens within the game that I can't tell you, it causes us to be stuck in a time loop. So we need to go to 2,000 years into the past in order to break the time loop. So this constantly keeps happening, and the sages are aware that there has been a time loop and they can feel it, but because we just arrive in order to save the crystals, it's never fixed properly. So they have, like, we have no memory of constantly going out and saving the crystals every 2,000 years, sort of thing. So it's very interesting. But this is the time where we're going to break the cycle. I really, when I first heard that, I was like, what? Why? Why is that happening? But we're going to find out. But whoever set this in motion has fled 2,000 years in the past. So it's very interesting on what it could be or who it could be. But we are stuck. I'm going to set like a little apology right now, because at the moment I am very much struggling with depression. I might not seem very enthusiastic about everything that's going on in this episode or the next few episodes. It's very much a struggle and I hate suffering with it, but I am possibly going to California at the end of the month or the start of April, so I need to get these done. So here we are at the Chaos Shrine, back again, where it all began. This is where it all links into. So we don't have to worry about this. I'm pretty sure this has appeared at least once in the Let's Play before, because I think I saw the guy in the corner earlier, and then I saw him do this when I first came here. Like, I think I came here off, like, to get chests and stuff, and I think I saw him then. So if you remember, when we were in Lufania, they mentioned that they had a troop of Lufanians go out and try and stop the darkness, and they couldn't, and they never returned. That's because they were turned into bats, and someone did mention that in Lufania. They were like, oh yeah, I heard that they got turned into bats. And now that we've awoken the 4 crystals, they are able to talk again and tell us what's actually going on, sort of thing. So the 4 fiends are, in the present, we're absorbing energy from the crystals and feeding on it and sending it 2,000 years into the past. For some reason. You focus the light on the 4 crystals of fire, earth, water, and wind on the thing, on the black crystal. So that's interesting. I don't know if anyone is aware. Well, they should. Hopefully, Final Fantasy fans are aware. This Friday, Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origins is coming out. It's already out on early access. It's just like, as soon as I leave the thing, we'll battle. We've got some chimeras here. But yeah, we are now 2,000 years in the past. Final Fantasy Origin, Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin is... A lot of people have been asking me, saying, oh, is it a remake of this game? No, it is not a remake of this game. It's a retelling of this game. It uses the same story points. For instance, like, the 4 fiends are in it. And it's based loosely on the events of Final Fantasy 1. Like, you go to the Chaos Shrine, I assume you go and try and wake up all the crystals. But it is not a remake of this game. It's its own thing, it's completely different. So, I'm excited to play it. I was a bit iffy about it at first because like the characters, at least the 3 characters when they first showed them, I didn't really care. It kind of irritated me because the way I was expecting when they said they were doing a Final Fantasy Dark Souls based around Final Fantasy 1, the way I saw it in my head was it was going to be set in this world of Final Fantasy 1, and you picked like a character and designed it on either the warrior, the black mage, white mage, red mage, or thief, and then you could then make your character and you go out into the world, and it was kind of like you leading up to the cycle, and then the Warriors of Light would have turned up, sort of thing. I thought that would have been cool, but I do like it now that I've played it a bit more. The combat's interesting, and yeah, I'm enjoying it. And I'm either gonna let's play it or stream it, so we'll have to see. The Chaos Shrine is another case of, I think, where we have to go up and then down again. There's going to be a lot of battles. Like, for instance, we've got some Black Knights here. We've got 9 of them. Montgomery's going for it. That wasn't bad. So that's the best thing. Like, even though magic isn't the best, it still like obliterates. Jesus. What are the chances of that? Like, every step there was a battle. That's very, very specific. I think at that one there was a forced battle though. So here this is an interesting story point as well. At the start of the game, I told you to talk to Princess Sarah because she'll give you a loot. And this is what it's for. She gives you the loot, and there's no real explanation towards it, but it's used to unlock the Chaos Shrine. So my understanding is that Princess Sarah, the loot was passed down through the years, through like as a family heirloom or something. That's like the basic like idea that I've had for it, but it's never really explained why she has the loot and why it's specifically used 2,000 years in the past. But I'm assuming it's just passed down, and like that was a use to unlock elements of the Chaos Shrine. There is a reason why I'm skipping a lot more battles than usual. I'm not going to go into why yet. I try and do as many battles, but I'm going to be honest, like, after this episode, a lot of battles get cut because the episodes are longer. I already have them edited and stuff, and I had to cut out a lot of battles to make sure I got all the content within each episode that I wanted. So now we're on the basement level. So we had to unlock that in order for us to get further within the Chaos Shrine, which is interesting. But it's technically taken us back to the end. It's weird. It's like I think we could have come this way anyway, but you have to, in order to get to the end, you have to use the loot to unlock it to then get into the thing. So, any more? No. Okay. Okay, story time. And here we have Lich, who, yeah. This is Lich before he got sent into the future and put to sleep and woke up before the end of the game, events of the game. Sorry, my voice is going. Excuse me. And he is more powerful than he was when we fought him. I'm assuming because he was asleep for so long it weakened him. Yeah, so he was born in this era, and I can't explain why right now. Only once we get to the last boss can I explain it. But yes, we will be fighting the 4 fiends as we go through here in their younger selves before they were sent into the future in order to destroy the crystals. They're not like super difficult. They've got more health and that's about it. The stats are pretty much the same. They've just got more health. But it's really cool because it's just like out of nowhere, you're just walking through and all of a sudden, bam, 4 fiend. I'm always like, whenever I'm watching these back, I'm always surprised when Frederick kills something, but Frederick's very much a big attacker in the team as well. Like, it might not seem like it because Sterling absolutely obliterates everything that he comes in contact with. But Frederick's holding his own. And I really like, because I've always loved Red Mage designs, but because they're kind of like they're an all-rounder class. They're not, you know, they're good at pretty much everything, but they don't master everything. Master of none sort of thing. They're a jack of all trades. And they're not good. The magic stats aren't great. They have white magic, they have black magic, but they can't learn super high levels of white and black magic. They've got good attack and they're kind of fast. And here we have Malarith. So yeah, they're good all around, and I love their design and stuff, but I've never used one in here because I feel like compared to the other classes, they weren't as needed, because you have a white mage, you can do everything that a red mage can, but better. You've got black mage that can do everything black mage that can do everything a red mage can, but better. That sort of stuff. But I really enjoyed using a red mage in this, because I've never used one before. I probably wouldn't do 3 mages again if I ever played it again. Which I will eventually, but I do like the canon team of warrior, thief, white mage, black mage, because that's the canon team according to the manga. Like when they did a whole manga on it, and they did have names, and I can't remember exactly what they were called. But it was led by the warrior, and there was a thief, and there was a white mage, the black mage. The other two weren't there. So it's nothing that we haven't been through before. We've dealt with Malarith before. We dealt with Lich fine, and there she goes, she's down. And again, this is the version of Malarith before she gets sent into the future and put to sleep, before she's awoken by us by accident, because we killed Lich. So you get where this is going. Like every floor there's going to be a 4th fiend. It's just finding the way to them. And like, as you can tell, like the enemies on the floor represented. So like when we were on the Lich floor, we found Earth Elemental. On Malarith's floor we found Fire Elementals, and now we're finding Water Elemental enemies. So you can guess who's coming up next. This is kind of tough though, because this is like one of the longest episodes I've done. I couldn't cut much more out of it, because this was probably over an hour of footage, and I cut it down to just under 40 minutes. So I did a pretty good job of managing to cut it down to something manageable, because I like to keep episodes no longer than 40 minutes, because it gets a bit too intense then. Sometimes it can't be helped, but for the most part, I try and keep them below 40 minutes. I'm pretty sure I got lost in here, because I was like, where do I go? I think I tried to go this way, and then I realized it's not the right way, so I had to walk all the way back. Yeah, there you go. And I walked all the way around, and I was like, God's sake. And then we go this way. We got the stairs. And here we have Kraken before he got sent to the future. From my understanding of, okay, I'll try and explain a bit of the story. The four fiends were sent into the future, and whatever happens to cause the time loop happens. And then each of these four fiends wake up periodically throughout the centuries. We turn up, we kill the four fiends in the future, but we never come back to the past. I think that's the way that it's, why it's still stuck in the loop. Is basically the way that the sages were talking about was that the Warriors of Light do turn up, and that's why there is the prophecy that the Warriors of Light do turn up, but they don't ever come back to the past in order to take out whatever's causing the time loop. So once they're done, and then they just do whatever, and then time resets and causes the time loop again. So they never really fulfilled the prophecy. Oh, Frederick's down. Kraken's suddenly doing a lot of damage. He was more of a threat now than he was back then, which is good, because he's supposed to be. He's still not that tough. I still love his design. I just love the fact that he's just literally just an octopus with a cape on. Cassandra is like... I'm pretty sure throughout this whole Let's Play, Cassandra is the only character that hasn't died. Sterling's definitely died a few times, Frederick's died a few times, and Montgomery has. But Cassandra, I'm pretty sure she stayed alive through the whole thing, which is kind of interesting. Especially now that she's had the Zephyr Cape, like, she just avoids everything. I would have lost it if, if either Cassandra or Montgomery had killed it then. See, look. Oh. 58, that's embarrassing. See, like, that's the difference without using Saber and haste and everything. That's how much damage we would be doing. Obviously, depending on, like, the enemy's defense levels and stuff, and, like, their stats and how the formulas calculate how much damage we're going to do. But that is pretty piss poor, 58 damage. Because we had to have, like, at least one more battle on that floor before we left it. We've got some vampires and vampire lords. We know what to do with vampires and vampire lords. Then they've never been an issue. Who's gonna go first? Cassandra or Montgomery? I'm gonna go Montgomery. All right. Yeah, there he goes. Excellent. You get so much experience in Gil here, it's ridiculous. I'm pretty sure this is... yeah, I was going to say, this floor's not very long. So here we have Tiamat again. We saw her recently. And if you played the demo of Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origins, then you'll notice that at the start you do actually fight Tiamat, and she looks very different. But it's a cool looking design. It's very interesting the designs they've gone for with the four fiends and the enemies, because they do look like kind of like their Final Fantasy 1 counterparts, but then there's like some weird design looks. And what's really cool though is because I'm assuming of the time loop and stuff, there are other areas of Final Fantasies in there, and I'm curious to see how that plays into it. So just the same stuff again, casting haste, using Giant's Glove. White Robe if we need it, Invisora, Protectora, Heal Arga, Heal Ara, you know, the usual stuff. How much are we doing? 688, not that much. I think I probably didn't stack up as much because I was like, okay, they're not going to be that hard. So Tiamat, I think, was the first one to be woken up in the future. And then it was Kraken, then it was Lich, and then it was Malariath, however you pronounce her name. But Malariath wasn't supposed to wake up for another 200 years. We just happened to wake her up by accident because we killed Lich, and that woke her up. So we've basically fixed part of the time loop because we've stopped the Four Fiends from being sent into the future. They were born in this time period. And it's very, it's interesting once we figure out what's going on. The time loop does get very confusing, very complicated, as all time loops do, and I love it. I think it's really cool. And that is the fourth of the Four Fiends down again. So long, Tiamat. Okay, now we just need to find the stairs and get the heck out of here. There we go. This is the final floor. We are about to head to the boss. I'm gonna heal up again because I thought there was more to go. I think that's why I didn't heal up fully. Then there, healed up there, healed up. Okay, cool. And here we have Garland. So, Garland, do you remember me? I was the one known as the Knight of Cornelia. "2,000 years from now, you killed me. I am Garland." "Oh, you did defeat me then. But the four great forces saved me by sending me back through time. Once here, I sent the Four Fiends into the future, where they shall once again use the great forces to send me back to the past. In 2,000 years, I will remember none of this. But I will be reborn again here, so even as you die again and again, I shall return, born again into this endless cycle that I have created." And here we go. This is the last boss of the game. This is Chaos, and he is Garland all messed up because he's messed with time. So yeah, basically, Garland, the first boss of the game, the guy that we went and saved Princess Sarah from, is the last boss. We left him for dead. He gets sent back 2,000 years into the past by the Four Fiends, where in the past he makes the Four Fiends to send them into the future. So this is where it gets complicated. Because it's like, well, how did that happen the first time? We don't know. That's the whole point of the time loop. You don't know when it first happened. But because he's done it so many times, and he doesn't remember, and then he remembers when he goes back to the past, it's caused him to become Chaos. And if you know about Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origins, that is the whole theme of the game. That was the big thing about it. They were like, oh yeah, Chaos. Oh, I've got to kill Chaos. That was the whole like marketing strategy for that game. So you've probably seen the memes of it. And yeah, this is the final challenge of the game. He's very creepy looking. He has all these like weird faces growing out of him, which are really creepy. If you played Dissidia, Chaos is a big villain in that game as well. He leads obviously the Forces of Chaos, because there's the Forces of Chaos and Cosmos. Cosmos is obviously the side of good. So you get all like the hero characters on your side, but then on Chaos' side you get like Sephiroth, you get Exdeath, you get Garland. Oh no, Stealing died. You get Garland, you get the Emperor from Final Fantasy 2, and all that good stuff. So Garland will, Chaos will go through every elemental magic, if that makes sense. He'll go through each of the fiends' magic, and it's basically he's absorbed the power, so he has like really powerful versions of their magic. So he'll do an earth spell, he'll do a fire spell, a water spell, and then a wind spell, and he kind of cycles through it. But he's not that hard. In the original, I've mentioned this before, the final boss only had 2,000 HP because of how much the damage was calculated. But in this, he has 20,000. I believe he has 20,000 HP. So he's not super hard. He's not that difficult. There's very much worse final bosses in Final Fantasy. I love the battle music though, it's super cool. So yeah, let me know. What do you think of the story twist? Were you expecting like it to be a time loop? Were you shocked when you found out that that was actually what was happening? We were stuck in a time loop? Because there are elements in the game where it kind of does hint towards it. There is a time loop, like if you talk to the sages, they will kind of hint towards like something's not right. There's a couple of other references in the game as well. And it's like, well, where did the prophecy start from? It started because we were stuck in the time loop, and then Lucan was like, yeah, you know what? So, it's just a case of whittling him down as much as possible. Just do exactly the same strategy that you've been doing throughout the whole of the game, if you've been playing along. Always put slow on, or stop. I wasn't paying attention. Well, like I said, this isn't going to be the final episode of the series. The series is actually 21 episodes long. It was originally 20 episodes long, but one of the bonus dungeons that I believe we are doing next, I had to split up into two episodes because originally it was one episode, but there was no way I was getting nearly 2 hours worth of footage in one episode. Because the way I've done it is, you have obviously, we had the Earthgive Shrine, we had the Hellfire Chasm last episode. There is the Livespring Grotto, which unlocks after Kraken, and then there is the Windswept Cove, I think it's called. Or Whisperwind Cove. And the Livespring Grotto is harder than the Whisperwind Cove, but the Whisperwind Cove is 40 floors, and the Livespring Grotto is only 20. So I had to split it up into two. I've split both of them up into 2 episodes because there is reasons why. I will explain that. But the Whispering Grotto is because Whispering Cove is because I just couldn't justify putting 40 floors in one episode, and obviously every 10 floors is the boss. Whereas the other one, the Livespring Grotto, the bottom floor bosses are some of the hardest in Final Fantasy. So I did it in that order for that reason, but technically you are supposed to do Livespring Grotto before, but you can do them in any order. Oh, here we go, Cyclone. Wow. I don't know why I love that animation so much. I just love the fact they just come down like in line, and they're just all face planted on the floor. What happened then? I don't know. I think something just popped up. I don't know why. I'm not touching it though because I can't go back and see. I did, this was going to be over 40 minutes long, but I did cut the credits off because I felt like, okay, well, they're not really super needed because nothing happens in the credits. It's just literally the credits. So I was like, okay, I'm going to cut those off. And there we go. Chaos is defeated. And because we came back into the past, we are gonna get an ending, but it's just gonna be a text-based ending, so I'm just gonna explain briefly. Because we got sent back into the past in order to do this, we killed Chaos. The time loop is broken. Whereas before it was never broken because we would just kill the 4 fiends and then that'd be it, 'cause that's what they were told. So it was like, oh well, the 4 fiends are the cause of it. Nothing else is happening. The time loop was severed at last. The endless struggle that raged over 2,000 years had ended, and peace prevailed once more. I should probably wait for it to like scroll up a bit more before I start reading it. The light of the 4 crystals restored the forces of wind, water, earth, and fire. It was a mere trick of fate that had given rise to the chain of Garland's wrath. But magnified by the 4 forces meant to guide our world, that trick of fate also gave birth to the fiends. Monsters ran rampant and into the world of darkness, the world sank into darkness. But all that is now past. With the 4 forces flowing as they were meant, the warriors prepared to cross time and return to the world they knew. A world where Princess Sarah, Queen Jane, and even Garland himself await. So because he never went back in time and messed everything up, he's there and he's fine. He's like just a knight. He's not causing issues. When was this fateful day that sent time spiraling into a loop? None can say. It seemed the cycle into which time had fallen would last forever, but the bravery of 4 young travellers changed that. They took the forces that filled the world with darkness and used them to bathe the world in light. None will ever recall the struggle the 4 endured, but the breaking of the chain means that it never existed. But within the tales of fantasy that people tell, the memory of their deeds lives on. Tales of dwarves and elves, of dragons and shining civilizations that reached for the heavens even as they fell. And now their return is upon us. With the memory of their struggle buried deep in their hearts, they will quietly watch over our world. Remember always that the forces of the world must be used as they were intended, that the power of light must never be used for dark, and that the true crystals reside in your heart. For you are the warrior who crossed time. You are the bringer of light. And that's going to be the end of the episode, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to do all the social media stuff, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye, everyone.